the exposure triangle is not just the ISO. Understand this thing. See, this is the sketch. This is the ISO. This is the shutter. This is aperture, and this is the shutter speed. You understand? See, when you hear any word, you understand. If you hear any word or any statement, try and understand the English meaning of that word first before you relate it to the profession. You understand what I'm saying now? So you already know what triangle is. So the exposure triangle now is not just one thing. It has to do with three things that made up the camera settings. It's the foundation, the pillar of camera settings. You know what I'm saying now? So, as you know, the whole photography idea, the whole thing was conceived and built on light, on the foundation of light. No, on the foundation of light, just understand the light first. I'm taking us back to the history where we started from now. You know what I'm saying now? So, as the foundation is built on light, so also exposure triangle is the heartbeat of photography. It's just like a canopy now, right? The canopy is the light, is the foundation upon which everything is built. But inside the canopy, you now have chairs, and inside those chairs, you have the VIP, VVIP. From the foundation, the light covers everything. The exposure triangle is the heartbeat of camera, is the heartbeat of photography. If you understand the exposure triangle, every settings in your camera is summarized into this exposure triangle. Now, let's go with what we have here. The exposure triangle is the foundation of photography. It explains how three settings, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture work together to control how much light reaches the camera sensor. How much what? How much what? I told you guys that we are still coming back to the foundation of this. We are still going back to light now. For you to know that the whole idea of photography is conceived and built on light. You know what I'm saying now? I told you that when you take a picture, you are seeing the picture, but what the camera is seeing is light. The camera is not seeing Livet, the camera is not seeing Victory, the camera is not seeing Elijah. You understand what I'm saying? So the camera is seeing light. So if I take Livet a picture now, I am seeing Livet, but what the camera is seeing is data, is information, the light available, gathered to draw the image. I told you that photography is coined from two Greek words, photo and what? Graphy. Photo means what? Light. While graphy means what? Drawing. Have you forgotten? If you go back to your foundational class, if you go back to the definition I gave you, do you understand it now? So when you take a picture, your camera uses the light available. The one you call picture is not picture. It is light to camera, to your device, either phone or digital camera. You understand? So what the device does, is that it gathers the light available, use it to draw the person, and you are seeing it, oh, this is Livet, oh, this is Victory. No, but what the camera is giving you is data, is information. Do you get that part now? So now the exposure triangle now is it's explain how 3D settings, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture works together, right, to control how much light reaches the camera sensor, right? So the first one we have ISO, the sensitivity of your camera sensor to light. Now I am going to break it down now because we have 3 settings now, right? We have ISO, we have shutter speed, and we have aperture. So I'm going to take my time now to break them down and explain them in details, what they really stand for and how they operate. Because yesterday I told you that they work in a zigzag form. You understand? They work in a zigzag form. ISO, shutter speed, aperture. So if one is going up, one is coming down. If you are increasing one, you are decreasing the other. For you to have a proper set, that is the configuration. So that is why you need to understand them separately first. Are you following? If you don't understand them separately, you won't be able to know how they work together. You need to understand their differences first before you can understand the similarities and how they can work together. Now, I want to explain something to you guys, right? I want to explain something to you guys so that By the time I'm explaining this note, you understand it. Now, we have the lens and the body and the camera, right? So we now have the intermediary between the lens and the camera, which has to do with this mirror part. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Now, aperture deals with the lens. Aperture deals with the lens. Shutter speed deals with the fastness of the mirror, the closing and the opening of the lens.
Yes, that fast is
Yes.
to take the picture.
Why the ISO deals with the light?
The lightning.
Yes, the light coming into the camera. Is it bright? Is it underexposed? Is it overexposed? Is it properly exposed?
If it's bright, then you have to dim the ISO down.
Do you understand what I'm saying now? Because if you don't understand the difference, just like I said earlier, if you don't understand the differences, there's no way you can understand how they work together. You understand? So, in terms of light, because now the responsibility has been shared now. We know that the photography is built on light, right? But when you are taking pictures, it's not just about the light. When you are telling a story, you don't just want to tell a story of how a particular place is bright. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So in a situation where you are dancing, I want to tell that story to show that, oh, there's this person is moving. I want to get that motion, that movement. You understand what I'm saying now? So what part of the camera am I going to use to tell that story, to get that particular shot accurately?
The aperture.
Is the shutter speed.
Okay.
Understand shutter speed. Speed.
Okay.
You understand? So aperture deals with the blurriness of your background. It deals with your bokeh, just like we practicalized yesterday. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying now? That is what aperture stands for. It is aperture that helps you to blur your background, blur whatsoever you want to blur, whether an object or a subject. It deals with bokeh, the blurriness of your background. That's what aperture stands for. Shutter speed deals with the motion, either freezing the motion or.
That's like what yes.
Yes. So ISO is strictly for light. It's strictly for brightness, exposure. Overexposed, you can see what I have here. You can see how I detailed it here. You can see a photo with too much light is equal to what? Overexposed. Right. When a picture is too bright, it is called overexposed. You understand that such image is what is overexposed. But when a picture is too dark or little or with no light at all, it is called what? Underexposed. Too dark. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So now, as a matter of fact, the strength of lens is usually measured by how far the aperture can go. You understand what I'm saying now? Now let me show you something. This is it. Let me show you something. Come. Now, I told you that f-stop is the aperture, right? Here now, can you see aperture here? Yeah. What you are seeing here is what? F. Now, is it active?
Not active.
Why is it not active?
Because the lens is not there.
Because the lens has been removed. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Yes. Now let's plug in the lens and you see what I'm talking about.